Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we're going to continue with LeetCode and we're going to solve the second problem in Python. It will be this one, add two numbers. So we are given two non-empty linked lists representing non-negative integers and they are stored in reverse order. So we will have to do simple arithmetic. We just need to do the sum of these two numbers which are represented in linked lists. So for that, we are going to use this list node class, which is already provided to us by LeetCode, which is a linked list implementation. We can access the value using val and the pointer to the next value using next. Okay, so before we write the code, let's see first maybe a little sketch or a diagram to better understand the problem. So let's say we are given these two linked lists, L1 and L2, and here we have the first value 2, and then we point to the next node which has the value 4, and the pointer to the next node which has the value 3, and here we see that the linked list ends since it points to none or null, maybe in another programming language, but I'm going to solve this in Python, so I'm using none. We also have the second linked list, which is this one. We have 5 pointing to the next node which has 6 as a value and the pointer to 4, and then it ends because this node points to none. So this is the same as we were doing the sum of 342 backwards with 465. Okay, so in simple arithmetic, what we do, we start to do the sum of the first the units. So 2 plus 5 is 7. And then we go to the tens, and then we do 4 plus 6, which is 10. We put 0 here and we carry the 1. So in our code, we will also have to write something to hold this carry. Now here we do 3 plus 4, which is 7, plus the 1 we carried from this one, and it is 8. And then we're pointing to none. So this is what we want to implement. We need to have another list node where we want to store the sum of these two numbers. Okay, so now let's try to write this in Python. Okay, so first I'm going to create a new list node, and then I'm going to give it the value 0 just to start. Sorry, ll is equal to list node. Now we are going to use this ll variable to store the value for each node in this list node. So we are going to traverse through the list node. So in the end, we also want to store this list node in another variable so we can access it at the end. So I'm going to do this, res for result equal to ll. Okay, so what I mentioned before was that we also need to store the carry for each operation we do. So I'm going to initiate a carry which will be initialized with a 0 value since we have 0 to carry at the moment. So what we want to do now, we want to access each element in L1, so the units in L1, and then the tens, and then the hundreds. So we need to access L1 using L1.val for the value, and then to go to the next one, we do L1.next. Okay, so to traverse all the nodes in the linked lists, we will use a while loop. So, and then the conditions will be while L1 or L2 or carry. So we need at least one of these conditions for as long as we have one node left in L1 or in L2, we are going to continue to get that value and work on it doing our operations. And then we also need to continue if we have a carry. If our carry is not 0, then we need to do an extra operation. So this will be our while loop. Now we want to access the values in L1. So we're going to do if L1 L1 dot next. Val1, sorry. So if L1, we're going to do value, let's call this val1, is going to be L1 dot value. So in our first iteration, this is going to be the value in the first node. Okay, and then we want to move to the next one. So L1 is going to be L1 dot next. If we don't have if we don't have L1, so it is pointing to none, we're going to put val1 equal to 0. Okay, so we do the same for L2. If L2, we do val2 equals to L2.val, and then L2 equals to L2 dot next to make sure to move to the next node. If we have so when will this condition will not be true? When L2 is none, which means that we have reached the end of the linked list. So for that, we're going to put val2 equal to 0. So what we want to do now, we want to do the sum of val1 plus val2. Okay, so the sum will be the first value in our new linked list, which we called LL. But we also want to get the carry, and the carry will be the sum of val1 plus val2 modulo 10. Okay, so let's write this first. So we will do right here. We're going to use in Python the function divMode, which I'm going to explain right now what it does. Remainders. Okay, so we have val plus val2 plus carry. We shouldn't forget the carry. So what the divMode does, that it divides this sum by 10, and it returns as the quotient and the remainder, exactly what we want. Okay, so the quotient will be the quotient in this case is going to be the carry, because we like we said, if the sum is bigger than 10, we want to carry the one to the next operation. Okay, so carry is going to be the quotient, and then the remainder we want to put it in our linked list, which is going to be the sum of these two numbers represented as linked lists. So ll dot next is going to be the reminder, yes. Okay, so now we have stored oh, sorry, we have to put here list node. Yes, so we are constructing the next node for this linked list LL. Okay, and then we need to move LL to the next one. So we can traverse this this linked list. Okay, so we will continue doing this until we traverse all the nodes in both of the linked lists, and then LL will be pointing to none, so we'll be pointing to the last node in this linked list. But we want to return this new linked list we created. That's why we did this here. So we can return it using res dot next. Why next? Because we started this linked list here at 0, but we want all the linked list after 0, which will be the result of our sum. Okay, so this seems to be okay. Let's try to run it. Oh, we have a problem here. Um, let's see the code. Okay. Hmm. Sorry guys, this was a really stupid mistake. I just noticed I forgot to put the return. So let's run it again. Okay, so it's working as expected. Let's try to submit this. Okay, so here we have, it is working fine. Okay, so in the next video, I'll try to solve the same problem, but this time using Java. Okay, guys, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you find this helpful, so I can continue doing more videos like this. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.